Hey, back with another video. So, doing another what the we talking about. So, let's just start off with the Cardi of it all, okay? So, you know, the album is now out. Am I the drama? Okay. I gave my reaction. I did a reaction video on it for my first time listen. I said I'm gonna do another video in 2 weeks, which I still will, but I would like to say that almost a week out because today is Thursday. Um, I am bumping the shit out of this album. I mean, top to bottom. This is the only thing I've been listening to all week. I'm not going to even hold you. It's all I've been listening to outside of like Kaylani, I think, music. That's all I've been listening to. My favorite song so far off of Am I the Drama is my number one favorite song is Check Please. Baby, oh, I'll run it back all damn day. The only thing I don't like about Check Please is the fact that it's so short. It pisses me off. But it's hard to choose because it's a lot of songs that I like. But right now for me, it's Check Please, Magnet, Safe, Airtime, and Pretty and Petty. Those are my songs right now. If I just had to give five off the top, but the whole album goes right goes. Now the last thing. Now you want to know what's crazy, right? So let's talk about her album projections, right? So I remember. I want to see if I can find it. I don't be really going off of everything my Chat GPT say. I kind of use it for like I only use Chat GPT to talk about like celebrity shit. So like shit that really don't matter to me, right? But I couldn't at one point in time figure out like what the projections were initially for her, right? And so I had asked Chat GPT what was her projected numbers. And mind you, this is the day that the album dropped Friday, right? And or maybe no. What day was this? What day was this? I can't even see. This was maybe like a day or two. I can't really remember. But I said, what is Cardi B's second album projected to sell? It said there isn't a firm consensus yet. They said that it's racked up 1.5 total album units in the US from pre-sales. But that's the inclusion of like WAP and things like that. So it said on the low end, it said 125 to 150, which I was like, what? Base case, it says 125 to 150. Optimistic case, it said 175 to 200. Conservative case, it says 900 to 120, right? So I'm thinking like, wait, and then I saw other numbers that was projecting her around like 125. I'm like, that doesn't even make sense. And I'm thinking about specifically, Cardi has done a great job this rollout specifically with like physical, sales. She is pushing like her vinyls, her actual like album CDs or whatever. I was so excited because this package had came in and I thought it was my vinyl for her. As y'all saw on the reaction, I ordered my vinyl, but it's gonna get here tomorrow. I'm probably gonna do an unboxing of that. I'm really excited because that's like my first vinyl that I'm gonna get that I'm making for my collection. But yeah, she's been really pushing the shit out of her vinyls. So I'm really interested. So before I get into the numbers now, I was surprised to see like 125. I'm like, that don't even make no sense to me. And I saw other places like projecting like 120, and I'm like, that literally makes no sense. But mind you, this is before like, the week is going on. So as the week has gone on, they've updated to be like, yeah, she's definitely going to do probably over 200,000. And the record company, I guess Atlanta came out and said that they are going to do like, north of what they projected. So I guess they really was trying to count my bitch out. I would like to see right now Cardi B projected first week numbers. Now, I saw this stat that was really, really crazy. Okay, Cardi B's new album is projected to sell over 205,000 album units in its first week, with approximately 95,000 in pure sales. Do you know how crazy that is? Do you know how crazy? 205 is such a solid number. But for almost half of that to be in pure album sales mean physical copies. Nobody's moving units like that other than like a Taylor Swift. That is amazing that her pure sales, baby, I gotta make sure her pure sales numbers. That is crazy, bro. That's crazy. 95,000 pure sales. That's what the fuck I'm talking about. Yes, ma'am. People ain't even doing that no more. People are not pulling pure sales like that anymore. That's almost half of your shit. Now, I know people are going to talk about like bundles and stuff like that. And I know that kind of goes in there a little bit. But to have almost half of your sales be physical in today's age is amazing. And again, me and Cardi, we're not that far off in age. She grew up the same time period that I grew up in, which is having CDs, physical CDs. I don't really know what it's like to grow up and have people like market like an album to me that's not physical. I'm used to physical. I hope, that I really hope that this continues the wave of like, I do see an uptick in vinyl purchases, so I really hope that that's the case. So yeah, so it's saying that she's gonna do at 205. That's what I projected. I projected Cardi to do anywhere from like 175 to like 250. That's pretty much what I expected from her. So to me, that makes all the sense in the world. Good job, Cardi. Good job. And I also think though that this album will sustain. Like, I don't think it's going to be one of those albums that completely dips off, because people actually really like this album. So, yeah, good for her. Because I also want to, like, be very clear. Cardi is, like, a pop star, kind of. But at the end of the day, Cardi is a female rapper. She's a female rapper. Meaning her music, and specifically the type of music that like Cardi makes in particular, it is very like women centric in the sense of it's mostly gonna be for women. Yes, the songs that are in there that's for the guys is more like strip club or whatever, like type songs. So that's maybe what they're gonna go back and listen to. But the point of the matter is, and as we all know, men are not gonna be sitting around bumping a Cardi B's album. It's gonna be women that's walking around bumping this album, not them. So it's really, really hard, I think, specifically for like female rappers like Cardi or even Nicki, I think to a degree, to flourish as much as they can, just because men may like tune in to see what's going on, but they're like generally not sitting around just playing Nicki Minaj, generally sitting around just playing Cardi B. That's women. Versus like when it comes to male artists, you have both men, obviously, that's gonna lock in, and women are also gonna sit around and listen to, like, men will say they don't want to listen to female rap because, I don't want to hear about you taking dick and you doing this and you doing that and all the sexual shit. But as women, we sit there and we listen to Future or whoever talk about how many bitches they fucked. So I'm saying all that to say is that that's amazing to do 205. Very solid numbers. Very happy for you, Cardi. Now, I was never worried about the projections. I always knew she was going to sell. I just wanted to know if the album was going to be good. It's really good, and it's being perceived that way, right? However, I love that she named it Am I the Drama? Because the answer is yes. The answer is absolutely yes. That's all we've learned. Now, I will say that I appreciate her rollout. I post, even post this album, she has been working nonstop. I think the Joe and Jada podcast had dropped with her or whatever. Then Call Me Daddy podcast dropped with her. An interview with her and Angie Martinez dropped, and then she's also dropped 2 new songs. One is called Doing Too Much, which to me sounds like a Jersey Club type of song. And then yesterday she dropped the Airtime remix with Lotto. Bad bitches looking like Lotto when this motherfucker. Yes, ma'am. So yeah, those 2 songs are cute. So I like the fact that, the album is out, but she's still pushing. She's still working. Appreciate that. Now, I'm trying to think which way I want to go here. I want to wrap up this whole Cardi and Crissle situation, right? So I know that people wanted me to hop on and do a video, but I really wanted to wait until Crissle responded on the read before I jumped on here and talked about it, because I didn't want to do a separate video of it. I already did 2. I don't want to do a 3rd one. We're going to put them all in here, right? Because I hope that this ends after the end of this, right? So I listened because I don't know when the read came out, but it's only 2:40, right? And when I checked in at 12, it wasn't there, meaning that this just dropped. So yes, of course, I skipped ahead because I wanted to hear what Crissle had to say. Now I'm gonna play what she said, similar to what we did in the other video. We're gonna go on. Now I want to say this before we do this. I never really expected Crissle to apologize. Never that. Because I don't know Crissle obviously personally, but if I'm going off of, just listening to her every week for the last fucking 10 plus 12, 13 years, she don't give that. It's good. I figured that she was gonna come on and just kind of pretty much stand on her square. Am I disappointed in the response? A little bit, and we'll get into the reasons why. But am I surprised? No. Does it mean that I'm not going to listen to them anymore? No, of course I'm still going to listen to the read. I listen to much more problematic people that say much more stupid shit than them. But I've also walked away realizing that no shade, you can't really criticize them all like that. Because after this, I really started to think, like, when is there a time that, like, them two have been, like, criticized from the audience and it wasn't like, oh, we didn't do anything. Like, you know what I mean? But let's get into it. Let's get into the response. Like I said, I'm going to stop in between. We're going to talk.
I'll just address it. This is the single dumbest reason y'all have ever made me trend. This is the dumbest thing y'all have ever gotten riled up about before that I have said or done ever. This is so... First of all,
it might have been Charlie Kirk.
I did not... Charlie Kirk got it worse than Cardi did in that episode.
Like, way worse.
Okay, so that is the first thing that made me pause. To say that Charlie Kirk got it worse from you than Cardi B did, and to pretty much insinuate, well, you didn't say anything about that. I think it was better for y'all to just stick to the Nick Cannon of it all, because trying to compare you cursing out Charlie Kirk and us being upset about that versus you cursing out Cardi, like, apples to oranges. In what world is that the same thing? In what world is you cursing out Charlie Kirk for everything around that versus you cursing out Cardi B? Y'all think the two is the same? Of course no one would be upset about you yelling about that situation, because as I said in my other video, I'm used to Crissle going off, like she said, and I even brought up in my other video, I'm used to her going off on stuff like that, like she did with him. But like I said in my other video, it makes sense to us when it's things that matter. Like, when it's things that could, like, potentially alter the way that we actually, like, live. Like, you know what I mean? Like, social, political, economic, like, those type of things. Of course. That first part right there, comparing, please, y'all were better off just comparing the Nick Cannon situation to this. That would have made more sense if Crissle would have said, well, I literally dragged Nick Cannon. Like she said on her video, she would have said, well, I dragged Nick Cannon, and then 5 seconds later, I did this to Cardi B. That makes sense. I know Kid Fury's the one that brought it up, but that is not the same. But okay, keep on.
It was not personal to Cardi. I say this about everybody who haphazardly brings children onto this planet. I just said it about Kiki Wyatt 2-3 weeks ago. I don't play about kids, so...
What does haphazard... Because I want to make sure I'm haphazardly means what? In a manner lacking any obvious principle of organization. Okay, well, let me say, that's her opinion if that's how she feels. Now, Cardi said that was something that her and Stefan sat down and talked about, weighed it upside down. You know, she could have did what she needed to do to get rid of it, but she didn't. So, but you want to know what? that's still her opinion. She could still feel like that. Keep going.
If you were offended, I suggest you check your own life, or check, perhaps you were sensitive because you see yourself or your mama in Cardi and her behavior. I really don't know, but that is a personal problem for you to address and work on with your therapist.
I would like to stop there for a second as well. So, number one, to that, I said in my other video that maybe I'm sensitive to it because I just had a baby maybe not that long ago, and I'm real sensitive about people being very like critical, specifically like of like pregnant women and the decisions that they make. So you know what, maybe personally it could have touched me that way. You're right, it could have personally touched other people. Now what you were saying pretty much mostly like that she's, as you said, bringing kids into this world haphazardly, and I already made it very clear that don't apply to me at all, because I had my kid with all intention in the right spaces and everything. But I am understanding of the fact that most people do not. That's not their situation. But I will say though, let's just say for some people it did trigger them. I don't think that necessarily applies for every single person that didn't agree with you. And I would like to say that I felt like it was unfair for everybody to keep saying that you had some deep trauma shit that you had going on and you was projecting that onto Cardi. I did say in my video that I felt like maybe there was something in there, but I didn't lean on that too much. However, if we're going off of what you're saying that maybe it's something that triggered everyone, and that's possible, right? And so that everybody needs to seek help with their therapist. But with that logic, could that not apply to you as well? Could that not apply to maybe that's why you were so angry? And the crazy part is, I wholly disagreed with that when people were saying that they felt like you were projecting your own trauma onto them. I just felt like you just didn't agree with her. And it's the same way with this. I feel like there are some people that's doing that, but I also feel like there's some people that just don't agree with you. But seeing how you're not putting it out there like that for everybody who don't agree with you, well, I guess that's not on the table for you too. So let's put that back on the table then for you as well. If it's a possibility that everybody else was triggered by what you said, then I think I would like to put on the table then it's possible that the reason you were so triggered by Cardi's decisions, the reason why you were so upset is because maybe it triggered something within you. That really surprised me that she said that, because I was really on the opposite side of the fence of that when people were saying that about Crissle. So that was very surprising.
Would like to apologize to your LaBoo-Boo, because even though it is horrifying, it didn't deserve that. I was just caught up in the moment and my emotions got the better of me. But yeah, y'all, was it mean? Was it harsh? Of course it was mean and harsh, girl. This is the read. It isn't fucking Sesame Street. It was harsh. Correct. No. But yeah, Cardi's also mean. The same bitch who just bullied Samira off of TikTok like a month ago. Y'all act like Samira is this plus size influencer. This girl, she went to Harvard.
I also want to say, so to that part, right? That's like, I know I am, but what are you? Just because somebody does something wrong, that doesn't then make it okay for you to do wrong, and then for you. Okay, this is my thing. If Cardi did something specifically to you, right, and then you came back that way, then yes, you're absolutely right. But to say, well, Cardi is mean. You gotta say I'm mean. Well, Cardi is mean. Okay? What? Cardi being a mean person or having moments where she's being mean, like she's about to talk about, that doesn't negate or take away from the fact that maybe you were mean in a moment. You know that we can call out both. In one hand, because she's about to talk about the fat phobic comment that that Cardi made, right? And we could talk about that, but you see how I can walk and chew gum at the same time? I can say that yes, what Cardi said was absolutely wrong, and she didn't take a lot of accountability for that, but she was wrong in that. That does not now absolve every single person for now saying something negative about her or something that could be deemed as necessarily mean. we can acknowledge that Cardi was wrong for what she said and that you were wrong with what you said. To say that, well, y'all call me mean, but Cardi's mean, that comes off very childish to me. Like, that is, to me, in my opinion, that's a very childish response to somebody calling you out for something, because in my opinion, that's classic deflecting. It's literally saying, I know I am, but what are you? I know I'm me, but so is she. Okay? So, because, let's just say, if Cardi goes in the middle of the street, like I said, and, I don't know, freaking slap somebody in the face, and then 5 months later you randomly see Cardi and smack her in the face, like, yeah, Cardi was wrong for smacking somebody in the face. Oh, sorry, to me that's not even the same, because that's a 1-to-1. I'm saying all I have to say, that was a terrible example. I'm saying all I have to say is that one does not negate the other. Somebody being mean does not absolve you from now, just like, it doesn't mean, put it like this, just because Cardi is mean, that doesn't mean that it's now full range for everybody to just go crazy, and now that the rest of us aren't allowed to say, hey, this wasn't the nicest thing in the world that you said. We can do both. That's some real childish shit to say, in my opinion.
She sings, she does all these videos about like brands making more clothes and plus size and stuff like that, and she called Cardi out for something fat phobic that she said, and Cardi was like, it's not that big of a deal, you bitches so sensitive, you couldn't have never grew up in my house because we say way worse than this, just for the carbs to turn around and be the exact same level of sensitive because I said something critical about that girl. So,
and like I said, it specifically when it comes to the stands, and this is my thing, when Crissle was talking about the stands, yes, she's absolutely right. If you were holding Cardi accountable for that, but you want to hold her accountable for this, then it don't match up for me. But the point of the matter is, like I'm saying, is that that's just a certain percentage of people, a large percentage. I've seen, I'm not going to say names, but I've seen people on YouTube in particular who I know for a fact are not Cardi stans and agreed with like kind of the consensus of how that came off. So, continue though.
I'm gonna need y'all to act like I said something about Cardi B and not about Miss fucking Rachel or something, because that bitch is also mean. And I did not wish death on her.
She's also mean. You're acting as if she... you want to know what? Maybe that's why. Because if you are comparing Cardi B to CK, then I see how you come to this conclusion of, well, she's mean, so I'm mean. She's mean, so I'm mean. Okay.
Please go back and listen again with your listening ears. Sometimes y'all hear what you want to hear and not what was said. I said she would be praying that she wakes up from her next surgery, which is a reference to when Cardi herself said that she would rather die on the operating table than have an undesirable body. So, again, if you mad at me for that, you need to go be madder at her first, because that bitch said it. Y'all are being so weird about this. It was really ridiculous. I couldn't do nothing but laugh at you niggas. The research and the science is on my side, girls. Think twice and then 2 more times before you have kids. Thanks. Like, it's just not that, nothing about this was that serious. It was not, the people who...
Well, I will say that I agree, none of this was that serious. None of this was that serious. It really fucking wasn't. But I think that's what everybody was kind of saying, is that it wasn't that serious. I think that's what we're all getting to. It wasn't that serious.
Who actually listened to this show were like, I actually thought you was going to go way harder. I cannot believe of all the things that you have said on this show, this is what pissed them off. But, you know, the Cardi stans and the Crissle haters came together and was like, bitch, we are going to form an alliance. And we are going to make this trend on Threads and TikTok. The whole TikTok algorithm is just people talking about me. Also,
that could be true, that those are the people that came together to make you trend, but I will say that I don't fall into one of those people. I love Crissle, and I'm not a Cardi stan, and I still disagreed. But I hear you, girl.
Well, the fame of it all. I couldn't do nothing but laugh. This is so fucking stupid. Because mind you, this girl is pregnant again by somebody who isn't her husband when her youngest child just turned 1, and that nigga got 2.
Pause. See? And that's where you lose me again. You lose me again. This girl is pregnant by somebody that's not her husband. You want to know why that phrase right there confuses me for so many reasons? Okay, yes, technically you're absolutely right, but you want to know why that confuses me? Because number one, right before that section started, right, because they was talking about Cardi and the album and stuff, Kid Fury said that Cardi said, you know, on the Spaces that Offset literally wouldn't sign the divorce papers simply because he wanted like some money and a house for her, right? From her. So with that just being said, maybe, and this is the second point I'm going to get into, but I'm sorry, me personally, I don't believe, now again, I think that Cardi should have got as pregnant as she did? No. But like the framing of you got pregnant by somebody that's not your husband, to me, that's framing it with the assumption that she's really with her husband. It's kind of like the same thing that she did the last time when she said, you're the one that you're the one that like cheated on your husband or something like that. And it's like, why do you keep framing it as if Cardi B went out of her way to go and cheat on her husband? Yeah, sorry about that. But she's explained that she is legally separated from this man. And more importantly, what I'm confused about is, when on God's green earth did the sanctity of marriage, like, once somebody has broken it, like, when the hell did that become so important to you? Like, when did the whole idea of marriage and a wife pretty much being just sitting there in a corner and letting her husband do whatever while she's being, when did that become a thing for y'all? Because I've listened, like I said, I've listened for a long time. I've never known Crissle to stand on the side of the nigga and be like, oh yeah, he was cheating on you left and right, and yeah, he was doing all of this shit, but you're still wrong, right? Like you, sorry, not you're still wrong, but like, and I know that you guys are like legally separated, and I know that the only reason y'all are not divorced is because he's the one that's holding it up. Not that you're in a relationship or you're in a marriage, and you're in a marriage in the home together, and you break it like he did. The framing of that is nasty. And that is, if anything that I heard, that is the most disappointing part. Because to me, what it shows is that, in my opinion, it shows that you will literally shift your politic just to not take accountability for something. That is, I've never in my life heard Crissle, like, frame some shit like that with a woman in that predicament. That's wild. The only reason you could be doing that is because you don't want to say, like, maybe I was wrong about that, or you, and my thing is, you didn't even have to apologize. Because again, when I was coming to this, I didn't expect an apology at all. I expected her to be like, I said what the fuck I said. But to double down specifically on the, you're the one that's pregnant by a man that's not your husband. Wow. I'm going to keep listening, like I said, but wow. That definitely changes the way that I look at her. For sure. That's crazy, bruh. That's crazy to say.
The kids born this year and allegedly some more on the way and sexual assault allegations, but I'm wrong. Before we move on, I do want to say thank you, a sincere thank you to everybody who tried to fight the good fight. You really don't have to do that ever, because I don't believe in explaining myself to these bitches, but I really appreciate y'all defending me, everybody who wrote comments, posted videos.
So that's pretty much that on that. I hope that we end this. All of that to say is that, did I expect Crissle to apologize? No. Did I expect her to double down on some bullshit that she said? No. Is it disappointing? Yes. Am I still gonna listen? Yes. Do it change the way I look at her moving forward? Absolutely. Next motherfucking topic. Cardi and JT, okay? So, as we know, well, I didn't know because obviously y'all seen it, my reaction. I didn't know when I was listening to that song that she was dissing JT at the second half magnet. But remember, I did say when she said my nigga cheat on me, but at least I don't stick no dildos in his bitch. I said, ooh, you gonna get in trouble. You cannot say that. That is homophobic. You cannot say that. You cannot say that. Because some people would say, well, hun, I'd rather my nigga cheat. I'd rather just peg my nigga and share bags with him than him cheat on me constantly. You know, to each his own on that, but that is a little bit of that is a little homophobic. That's why I said, ooh. But anyway, she was talking about JT in that second verse or whatever. And I was like, I had tweeted out, I was like, I actually am kind of excited about Cardi and JT if we're gonna get, like, you know, music, because I feel like both of them are funny, right? I feel like both of them are funny. Both of them can, like, roast, like, really, really well. So I was like, bitch, if we gonna get both of these bitches going back and forth with each other over the next, like, few months or however, like, over wax, then, like, I'm with it. However, you know, I don't know if JT is now realigning with Nicholas. We'll get to that pink lady in a fucking second. But I don't know if she's realigning herself with that pink lady, because she pulled a stunt right out of Nicholas's book. Instead of doing what we all expected her to do, which is hit the booth, stop tweeting. The words of Lauda, stop tweeting, get in the booth, bitch. Instead of getting in the booth, like we really all expected her to do, the same way we expected Nicki to get in the booth immediately versus you tweeting away. Literally yesterday, which is almost 5 days after the album comes out, somebody posted, somebody pretty much, a man accusing Stephon Diggs of pretty much like actually harassing him or whatever, or assaulting him. And JT pretty much retweeted it and said, this is fucking nuts and sad. Gay men should be protected. I feel like this isn't being taken seriously enough. You are such like Onika. Like, even though Onika don't mess with you, you really trying to learn from her, huh? And you didn't even take away like what you should have. That is some straight old Nika shit to be doing. First of all, you don't care about gay people. Please, I want y'all to stop using, because the same way that like Nicholas likes to use black women, right? Whenever she's upset with somebody and say, oh my gosh, black women, we're just treated so bad. Stop doing that, because that's what you're doing with the LGBT. Oh, well, they're just treated so bad. Stop to try to get your hate off. Please. It's so many other things that you could be doing outside of that. And for you to hop on the internet first and not in the booth is so disappointing. What is it, Jatavia? That's so disappointing. Then somebody says, I hate that when men alleges it's never taken serious. I'm glad you're speaking up. And then JT said, in all caps, Cardi B baby father a gay man, not because of how he dressed or expressed himself, but because Chris said it out of his mouth. Justice for Chris, I stand with the gays. Again, using the gays to get your hate off. Trash. Then she retweets it, and she adds the Patriots, CNN, Cardi, Donald Trump, chart data, Atlantic Records, payola, and Mexico. So not only are you like literally like using the gays to try to get your shit off, you're now also being racist and xenophobic. Why would you add Mexico? Cardi B is not Mexican, you dumbass. You are a dumbass. And then for you to add Donald Trump, again, you really learning from Onika, huh? Child, you are fucking trash. And then so I guess, so somebody did say, so where is the diss back? And then she just retweeted whatever, like Cardi had put up this video or whatever of like, you know, like how rappers just kind of say certain things on their phone to like keep lines and stuff for a song. Cardi had put that up to respond to like Joe Budden in their podcast saying that she don't write her stuff, right? But that's not answering the question though. The point of the matter is that you didn't get in a booth. So let's talk about what Cardi did, because Cardi ain't no damn better. You see how I just said that I can call Cardi out about her bullshit too? One doesn't negate the other. Here we go. So Cardi went ahead and reposted. So she said, I want justice for them babies your man make you abort every time. Ask what he told me about how he felt when he wanted to see Britt in that courtroom. That's his ex. And she didn't show up. Or do I need to play the audio? And don't let me say what he was saying about Rock Nation. Just ungrateful. So then the screenshots, one of them says, I don't want to come up there sick and moody, and then you get mad and curse me out. Then I beat you up. It's too much. I want to because I invited you to. I have to work. Come here. I'll come after we leave Miami if we still like each other. You think I ever been through this, to be honest? I love this shit. You love me. You mad at me, but it's just because you pregnant, so it makes you even moody. I don't know who that one was from, but this one right here, this one has JT's name on it. And it says, really turned on me for her, you showed her. And then the response back is, no, I didn't. So I'm going to assume this is JT and Uzi, right? And then Uzi says, no, I didn't. And then JT is all of these messages I'm about to read. You did that to make her feel good. I understand. I go so hard for you. I would never turn on you for a nigga ever. Man, Uzi, with the heartbroken. Why you pretend to care about me? Something about you being with this girl. You was with her for a whole 4 to 6 days. So she's pretty much saying that. I think the first text message is saying that she pretty much, Uzi made JT the baby that they had, or babies that they had together. She's a bird too. Caw. You're a bird, Cardi. Cardi is a bird. Caw, right? And then did she take out, wait, I'm trying to see, did Stephon make her take that stuff down? He probably did. Yeah, I think he made her take that stuff down. Yeah, it was something else too that she had put up, pretty much saying that like Stephon isn't gay because Chris lied. I don't know. I can't remember. But whatever it is, y'all are both birds. Both of y'all are birds, caw. And at the end of the day, both of y'all have trash men. Y'all have a trash record. So it's a trash history, dating record. None of y'all can come to the defense of each other's, like, of your own man. Uzi, JT can't say anything about anything that Stephon does, because at the end of the day, JT got in a relationship and stayed in a relationship with Uzi, knowing damn well what he allegedly did to his ex. It was a video. I don't know if y'all remember this, a few years ago. It was a video of him being caught with said girl or whatever, and we know exactly how that went down. So you ain't got, I ain't got nothing for you when your man is alleged of everything it is that he's doing, okay? And you can't. And how are you trying to call somebody's man? How are you mad that people are calling your man gay and then turn around and call somebody else's man gay? That doesn't even make sense. And if anything, we have more proof of Uzi being gay than we do Stephon. So like, what are we even talking about? And then when it comes to Cardi, you can't say anything because of, again, like Crissle said, the kinda to a degree, the position that you're in, the fact that Stephon got all of these damn babies allegedly, that's not the body. Like, none of y'all have a foot to stand on. None of y'all do. So how about, my main issue with all of this is, why didn't you get in a booth and rap back, JT? Why didn't you get in a booth? And for you to just reply back to somebody, oh, whatever her diss was, or what part of her diss was. Well, I want you to know this. Bitches is throwing ass to magnet. You could call it as trash as you want to, the reference or whatever, but at the end of the day, bitches is throwing ass to magnet. That shit is bumping out of cars. I heard Cardi's album all weekend. Bumping out of bitches' cars. And Magnet is one of the main ones I hear. So how about stop and get your ass, stop tweeting, get in the booth. Period. You want to be like Onika so badly. And then she gonna post the story. JT posted a story of her walking around or whatever with Chun-Li. That girl, my thing is, I want JT to understand this. It don't matter how much you kiss that pink lady's ass. It's never gonna be what you want it to be. I hope you know that. And you continuously trying to kiss her ass or to try to go at Cardi to get the barbs on your side, it's not gonna work, sistren. Child, I can't. Both of them, Cardi and JT, just shut up. Cardi, you gotta know, you are the drama indeed. Because it's been nothing but bullshit surrounded around your name since this drop. Now that's good, but it's also bad. You are indeed the fucking drama, child. And then let's talk about the pink lady. So maybe like a day or two ago. Now, mind you, let me see when the last time, because I think I had looked to see when the last time. I think the last time that Nicki had tweeted was like at the top of August, maybe? Let me see something. August 21st was the last time that she had tweeted anything, right? She hadn't tweeted anything since. I thought it was really interesting that all the way up right before, I'm talking about literally the week before, like Imaginary Players had dropped, right? Nicki was on her whole tirade. Anytime anybody says something about Jay-Z, she's jumping on their ass. She got into it with SZA for no reason, got into it with Des Bryant for no fucking reason because people just saying Sean's name. And I thought it was interesting that when Cardi dropped Imaginary Players, which is a Jay-Z sample, that bitch had nothing to say. But I already know why, because Nicki knows who she can go back and forth with online, and she know who she can. Cardi will literally do it all day. The rest of these people ain't going to go back and forth with you all day. That bitch really will take time all day to go back and forth with you. But, yeah, yesterday she going to tweet 3/27/26 with a CD emoji. So I guess she's dropping the album in March. My whole thing is, like somebody said, bitch, you know exactly what you're doing. And I guess you just don't care. Like, again, I've said this in a lot of videos. I guess at this point, Nicki does not care what the GP thinks of her, because you should know that you dropping the date of your of when your album is coming out, which is now for another 6 months, the same week that Cardi got her shit going on. We know what the fuck that is now. She did diss you on her album. So am I necessarily mad at it? No. But at the same time, you're already fighting the bitter allegations and the hating on Cardi allegations from the GP. So, for example, not on Twitter, because Twitter is run by the Barb, so you ain't gonna never see nothing good on there or unbiased there. But if you go to like Instagram and stuff, right, under all of the different posts on all of the different blogs that's talking about Nicki announcing her album, everybody underneath there is like, child, we see what you're doing. You trying to step on Barty's album, but at the end of the day, we're listening. Girl, boo, you're tired, you're through. Like, it doesn't help is what I'm saying. Like, you could try to be funny, but it don't help. And again, she claims she don't care about her public perception, like from the GP, but she do. I just want to say that that's not helping. When the album comes out, we'll see. Because I've already told y'all, I haven't been impressed with shit that Nicki has put out in a long time. I did not like that Pink Friday 2 album. The only song I listened to off that album is Fuck the Club Up. I don't listen to nothing else on there. And then the Barbs are so dumb that they want to jump on the girl. What's her name? Lourdes or Lourdes or whatever. Because she sung the hook on Cowgirl on Pink Friday 2. And she's singing a hook on My Back or whatever for Cardi's album. And my thing is, that proves exactly what all of us was saying when we said Nicki got mad at Megan because she did WAP with Cardi. And not only did she do, this is the crazy part, both times Cardi's songs was better, because Hot Girl Summer is not better than WAP. WAP is much better. And On My Back versus Cowgirl, On My Back wins. So, you Barbs are stupid though. To be bothering that girl over that, y'all really need like some special ass help. What else do we got going on here? What else? The support letters for Diddy, right? Because I guess we can roll into that since that got to do with Carisha. So, I promise, I'm like one of the first people that tweeted about this shit, because I was up late at night and I had saw that Megan Cuniff, shout out to Megan with the Bob, she, the journalist, she had posted the link pretty much to, you know, people who wrote letters of support for Diddy. Now, if y'all don't know, I believe his sentencing is coming up within the next few weeks. His people put forth that they want him to be able to serve 14 months, meaning he would get out because he's already served 13. And I asked, I think it wasn't Megan, but it was somebody else that reports on this, because I asked them, I said, what was the state's retort to that? And they said that the state has 1 week to pretty much say what they think that Diddy should get, or whatever their response is to 14 months. So we'll see within a week. But with his sentencing coming up, you know how people do like letters of support. So that list had dropped, right? I had clicked on that link and I was just scanning to see if I knew any names. The very first name that stuck out to me was Carisha Brownlee. I said, girl, trash. We already knew, but trash. And then you go and you read her letter. Like, do she think this shit's a game? Dear Your Honor. And the last sentence gonna say, Judge, that's a good man. This bit bird. Caw. Like, she literally, it's nothing up there but space and opportunity. It ain't nothing but space and opportunity up in that girl's head. Her letter pretty much said, like, it started off with saying, well, I don't know anything that he did prior to me, but since I've been with him, this is what really killed me outside of the judge, he's a good man. She was like, pretty much like, oh, he took me to the Met Gala, and it really wasn't the fact that it was the Met Gala or the event. It was the fact that he showed that as black people, we belong in all spaces. And when we were in that room, that we're supposed to be here just like anybody else. I'm like, bitch, why are you making it seem like you and Diddy was the first people to ever go to, the black people to go to the Met Gala? What the fuck are you talking about? Black people have been going to the Met Gala forever. Your bird ass was excited because you never thought that they would let your ghetto ass on the carpet, and they didn't until you was connected to him. That's what you mean by that. But make it very clear, you and Diddy stepping on a carpet didn't revolutionize nothing. Black people was already going to that. What are you talking about? What are you talking about? Space and opportunity. Office lease should be right there on her forehead. Office space for lease. My goodness. So I kept going through, right? Some other people that was on there that I would like to call out was Carl Thomas, Mr. Emotional. He wrote a letter. Dallas Austin wrote a letter. Stephen Hill, who was the owner of BET, aka Shantae Moore's husband now, he wrote a letter. And of course, we know Stevie J's weird ass fucking wrote a letter. So yeah, so that's that. So I guess we shall see. I do think that they'll let him out, but I really also think it depends, because there was this rumor like going around that Diddy said that when he gets out, he's gonna throw like this really big like concert or whatever at Madison Square Garden. And my thing is like, you're really playing games. You're really playing games if that's true, because I believe personally, right, like when it was time for it to be decided whether or not he was going to be let out, right, the attorney said to the judge that Diddy already had like his plane like gassed up or whatever and waiting to take him and his family on vacation. And I feel like that probably like rubbed the judge the wrong way, because the judge already wasn't really feeling like the defense, like the attorneys themselves. So I felt like that wasn't the right thing to say, like, oh, I'm gonna go, like, you're worth way more than that, judges. So for you to sit up there and be like, oh yeah, you can let me out, because as soon as I leave, I'm gonna just hop on my private jet and me and my family gonna go to this private island, like, that just don't come off really good. And if it gets back to the judge, that rumor at all, that he plans on throwing some big ass concert party when he gets out, you could best to believe you not getting out no time soon. Do I think he will get out and do that? Absolutely, because of his ego. And I feel like this whole situation, him only being found guilty on what he was found guilty on, all it's going to do, you would think, as Crissle said, you would think that it would humble him. But in all reality, it's going to boost his ego even more. You can't tell me it's not. Child, and the last thing before I go, because there ain't shit else to talk about, is Mona from the Don't Call Me White Girl podcast being added to the Joe Budden podcast, pretty much like weekly. I also want to address really fast, I don't know the girl's name, I feel bad for it, but whoever the girl was that was up there, on the Patreon or whatever, like the star tender or whatever, and a lot of the men was like not understanding what the women who watched that podcast was like saying about like the fact that we didn't want her to be the person. Like if Mel is gone, which I don't think Mel is gone, I think Mel is just taking time off, but if somebody is gonna replace Mel, that it shouldn't be her. And the reason being is because it's not because people are like, oh, so you just want an ugly girl up there. Who the hell said that she has to be ugly? What we were saying is that if you're gonna have somebody else come up there, right, if put it like this, if she's gonna be up there, then we do need a Mona there as well. You have to keep it balanced, because the average woman And the average woman watching this, we don't live the life of a star tender. So watching her, she's gonna have certain views, values, and things that align with where her lifestyle is. So for example, on one of the pods, they asked her about cheating and how does she feel about that, and she said she don't care because she understands, because mind you, she does not work, she don't pay no bills, so she don't care if her nigga's out here cheating because he's doing everything, he's providing everything. That's not the average woman's lifestyle, especially not watching this fucking show. We go to work. We don't got no man taking, even if we got a man, he's not taking care of us fully. We both go to work. We busting these bills down, however it is that we busting them down. That is the more relatable. Now somebody was like, so are you trying to say Mel is relatable more than she is? Yes. And I've always said that the show needs, Mel can stay, but she needs somebody else as well. You need to have a balance. All I have to say is that I like Mona on there. Again, Mona to me is more relatable. Even more relatable than Mel. Yes. Yes, even more relatable than Mel. Yes. And I also think that she will be good on this show because I think, ooh, is that a stink bug? Ooh, y'all, that's a stink bug on my window. Hold on. Oh, not a stink bug. It's one of them little lantern flies. They going crazy out here. I swear I will snap out if it gets into my house. I put that on everything I love. But yeah, I think she also will do much better than Mel because I think that she knows how to go back and forth with niggas, you know what I mean, in a different way. So yeah, I'm excited to see her on the pod. But yeah, y'all tell me what y'all think. I'm out of here. Bye.